Okay, we should watch this one. I just saw this one pop into the feed. On my feed, not the suggestions. But we should definitely see this. It's a short one, which is good. I'm gonna try and get in 2 more videos before I have to go tonight, because I've only got about an hour left. I do have to, like, I can't stream for like 5-6 hours like I normally do on Sunday, because I do have to wake up early tomorrow morning. So, no, not the colon one. Uh, so there's an Atozy video here that Colon, Michigan? Huh, hadn't heard of that one. Interesting. Okay. Oof. Well, I don't have to wake up quite that early, Tysel, but I do have to wake up earlier than no. I do actually have to like wake up earlier than I normally would. So, eh. All right. So I'm not entirely sure what this is. All I know is the description said he broke into a pet store to free the pets. So he ruined his life and then made it worse. And the fact that it's involving pets, I am intrigued. So I'm really kind of curious what's going on here. So let's check this out.
What is going on in Ohio, dog? Well,
Oh, because of course it's in Ohio. Son of a bitch. Because of course Ohio. Oh, God. We saw the first part of this? Really? I don't remember about this. Okay. Well, hang on. Cat is sniffing at my cables again. Need to distract her. Alright, let's see what happened.
meet Matthew Pancake. Yes, that's his real name. And he was recently arrested in Ohio for breaking into a pet store and freeing all the animals. He then grabbed about 4 gerbils, stuffed them in his leopard printed onesie, ran down a couple blocks.
Is he a furry? Oh God, is he a furry? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, let us continue.
And then passed out on a bench. For most people, that just sounds like a far-fetched fever dream, but I guess for Matthew Pancake, that's just a Tuesday morning. So today, we're gonna take a look at how the Ohio man is giving the Florida man a run for his money. So it all starts the Tuesday morning, July 9th in Columbus, Ohio, where police received reports of a man dressed in a leopard onesie broke into a Rooster's restaurant. But when they arrived to the scene, he was no longer there. But across the street, there was another store by the name of Petland that was also broken into. When police arrived to the scene there, they saw animals were just running all over the place.
A brazen intruder has forced his way into a pet store, smashing windows and releasing animals from their cages. As the animals run loose in the parking lot near Columbus, Ohio, cops desperately try to round them up, even the birds.
Then they realized
Pink, yes, I did see the video about Furfest. I can't remember if we watched it on stream or not, but I did see the video about Furfest.
the shoe store next door was also broken into, but he wasn't there either. Then they found the guy a couple blocks away sleeping on a bench and probably had the most comedic body cam arrest I've seen in a long time. I have to blur it here for obvious reasons, but just listen to this audio.
Mr. Pancake, you're under arrest.
Don't move!
Get on your belly! Get on your belly! On your belly!
On your belly!
Roll! Get on your belly, Mr. Pancake!
Get on your belly!
In the name of the law, Pancake, get on your belly!
What the hell? In the name of the law, get on your belly. This is after they've been yelling at him 5 times to get on his stomach. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, Atozy said this at the beginning. It is his real name. His real last name is Pancake. Get on your belly, Pancake. Oh, God. But you know what? The fact that 2 other businesses were broken into, I have a feeling this is not him simply wanting to free the animals. He's either high or drunk. This sounds like he's just high or drunk. Because he broke into a restaurant, broke into that store next to the pet department store, or the pet store. So, it sounds like he was just flat out drunk. Or high. One of the two. And I don't know if this is... I'm guessing that maybe his excuse, like when they go to trial, is probably going to be, oh, I wanted to save the animals. Probably trying, his lawyer probably trying to get some kind of, I don't know, some kind of like insanity or sympathy from the court. But I'm guessing, we'll find out here, he's probably drunk.
I mean, that sounds like something from a South Park episode, but sadly, that's just the reality in Ohio, apparently. Clearly, they knew exactly who this guy was, or else they wouldn't be screaming his name. So, this guy must be a frequent nuisance for this police department. And after searching it up, that would be correct, because he was also arrested last year for breaking and entering as well.
Well, day's work, boys.
Yeah. Knew we'd find him.
Good job, Mr. Pancakes.
Knew we'd find him eventually.
Okay. Not quite sure if I was one of those officers, I'd be using that terminology. I'm not sure as a police officer I'd be saying all in a day's work after you've just finished handcuffing a suspect. Especially when you know you're on body cam. Like, seriously, what the... Is it anything wrong? No, but that sounds very, yeah, I know. It's not sus. It sounds like these guys are very high on their own shit. It sounds like these guys are sniffing their own farts. And they basically think they're a bunch of Billy badasses. It's not professional sounding. So, yeah, it's a yard dog. That would not surprise me.
Where are the gerbils?
Where are the gerbils?
What a question.
Damaging.
Oh, God, there is
Using
a gerbil.
animals? Oh, there are gerbils in there. Yeah, definitely animal abuse.
What the heck? I got a gerbil. What the heck?
I want to know how many of these gerbils that were in there got injured when they were wrestling him to the ground like that. And how many bites he got. How many times he got bitten by those gerbils freaking the fuck out in that onesie. Cause when they were wrestling him to the ground, they were freaking the fuck out because their entire universe was like in upheaval. And like, did any of them get crushed, I wonder? God, I hope not. Red Bassett, I'm still going on the assumption that he was drunk and he probably had no intention.
Is that a gerbil in your pocket or are you happy to see me?
Multiple gerbils.
In his pants.
Multiple.
So far it looks like they're unharmed.
We're just advising that our suspect has multiple gerbils in his pants.
But they put it over the radio. They actually put that over the police band. Okay, every single cop on that frequency just started laughing their ass off when that came across the radio. Every single one of them just started like dying from laughter when the dispatcher broadcast that.
The fact that this isn't a comedy sketch is what makes this so incredible. This is just a phenomenal anti-substance ad. Stay off the substances, kids, or else you might wake up one day on a
drunk.
bench
He's
being
absolutely
arrested
drunk.
in a leopard suit with gerbils crawling out of your pants leg.
Have any more pets? Do you have any more gerbils on you?
Please don't tell me you put a gerbil somewhere else.
I'm not sure.
For your safety.
Well, on certain sites,
Is there a gerbil inside you?
Grab my shears and cut further up that pant leg.
That is such a cursed but valid question given the context.
Yeah.
Imagine the face of this poor public defender that gets this guy's case. Also,
Ow.
speaking of that, this dude is pleading not guilty for all counts. Breaking and entering, he's caught on camera. It's not like there's too many other dudes breaking into stores in a
Well, I mean, as crazy as it may sound, in context, that's a legitimate question for them to be asking, because if he said yes, and actually I'm a little surprised he didn't say yes, because if he did, that would have been an immediate trip to the hospital. And a lot of people who get arrested will claim some kind of medical ailment in order to delay going to jail, because if you say that you have medical problems, you have to go get checked out in the hospital. So I'm a little surprised, even drunk as he is, that he didn't say, "Oh yeah, there is," so he'd get a ride to the hospital and delay actually having to go to jail. Had the vet standing by to extract the animal, make sure the animal's okay.
leopard onesie on a Tuesday morning in Columbus, Ohio. Then you have the theft, which can't really be that hard to prove.
Yes, cryptic, you are cuffed even for medical, but with criminals, they may not necessarily care. It's keeping them from being processed. It's keeping them out of being in lockup. And it's the delusional hope that, well, maybe I won't actually go to jail. You know, criminals are not the brightest people in the world. They don't exactly think logically.
Considering the stolen merchandise is literally crawling out of his pants leg as he's being arrested. This is actually worse than the guy who was in court for stealing a Miami Dolphins jersey, and then he showed up to court in the stolen Miami Dolphins jersey. Either way, I feel like Matthew Pancakes is definitely being represented by a Saul Goodman-like attorney.
A calm and wide-eyed Matthew Pancake was arraigned this morning, a different look from when we last saw him early yesterday. Police found him sleeping on a bench. They later helped him into a police cruiser. The leopard print onesie-wearing man now charged with breaking and entering and vandalism involving 3 Hilliard area stores, including a Petland.
Officers were able to corral as many animals as they could. They corralled several bunnies, birds, I believe a hamster, and a couple of puppies.
I'm actually kind of surprised he wasn't hit with any animal abuse charges here, as he recklessly endangered the lives of...
I can explain. I can probably tell you why. Because as passionate as people might be about animal abuse, courts do not give a fuck. Courts do not give a fuck about animal abuse, especially when you've got the cops. When they made this arrest, they knew that the animal abuse charges would probably get dropped once it actually made it into the court system. Because, yeah, animals are property in courts, and animal rights charges and cases they're not treated with anywhere even close to the same level of scrutiny and seriousness as other criminal cases. And it sucks. No, animals are protected, and they are protected legally, but the legal system just doesn't give a shit. That's the difference. They are protected and protected legally, but when it comes to actually taking action in the court's like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, it's on the books, but we don't really fucking care. And fact is, none of these cops probably cared about filing charges. They already had him for, breaking and entering and theft on multiple counts. They probably didn't fucking care about doing an animal abuse complaint. They very likely flat out didn't care. Animal abuse type complaints, unless it's something severe, like, you have a dog that is actually visibly injured from someone abusing it, or living in absolute squalor, or something that is very grandiose, and that's the only issue, most cops are not going to file animal abuse charges. That's why you have, like, the ASPCA, who have their own investigators, and they are the ones to facilitate any animal abuse charges against someone. Because because that's their whole that is their whole reason for existence, is for animal abuse justice. And the regular police departments, quite frankly, they just don't care, which is sad, which is really fucking sad. But that's the fact. Is police officers dealing with so much in the level of crime, animal abuse is way low on the list, especially in this particular circumstance where he just let a bunch of other cages and a bunch more in his onesie, and he was obviously intoxicated. So that's another point where you would have a very tough time proving malicious intent, especially given that he was under the influence at the time. You'd never get an animal abuse charge to stick, and the prosecuting attorney would drop it the second it went to the first hearing. At the very first hearing, the prosecuting attorney would just drop the animal abuse charges instantaneously. So, again, that's why we have the ASPCA that does animal investigations. They're the ones that always bring up the animal abuse charges, and they're the only ones you can count on to bring animal abuse charges.
Dozens of animals.
Those animals were recovered safely, as were a few puppies, birds,
No, I'm talking
and
the
last
U.S. to tell
night,
me.
2 rabbits.
Steve Ohio versus Matthew Pancake.
Today, after prosecutors laid out the facts of the case, a judge handed down a $10,000 bail and ordered him to stay away from those businesses.
Yeah. You can buy a lot of hamsters for $10,000. There was literally zero upside here. What a bizarre case. I would like to think that he was inspired by that kid's book, Goodnight Gorilla, or maybe Madagascar, and just decided to free the animals from captivity. But I also just kind of feel like there's a way simpler explanation here, that he is just a junkie looking for something to sell to fund his addictions. Hence why he...
No, I have an even simpler solution. He was a junkie that was high off his ass and didn't even fucking realize what he was doing. In his drug-addled brain, he went, animals in cages, I should set them free, and just threw the latches. And for whatever reason, stuffed the gerbils in his onesie because, junkie brain said, hey, this is a good idea, let's do this. It's really as simple as that. He had a drug-addled brain and went, I should open this. And that's it. He was not, I guarantee, probably was not looking to sell them. He, in his twisted mind, he probably was just freeing them. And that's it. That's literally it. It's not that complicated.
He broke into multiple stores before the pet store. But what even makes that simple conclusion funny is he decided to opt to steal hamsters rather than the shoes from the shoe store he also broke into. Do I steal sneakers with a proven resale market or $10 hamsters? Again.
Atozy, gerbils, not hamsters. Oh no, they were hamsters. Sorry, nope, never mind. They were hamsters. But, again, this wasn't for money. This was a brain with now firing neurons, directing him to do something that made no goddamn sense. That's it.
Stay off the substances, kids, because clearly you're going to make some terrible decisions on them, as the guy made so many bad decisions in just a couple of hours. Me from the future here, apparently there was more to this story, as there was also a witness.
So, have you heard about the guy who broke into Petland? Yes. I'm looking right at him. He's asleep on a bench.
Christian Thompson says she was hanging out with several of her friends when they were approached by officers asking if they'd seen the suspect.
He said leopard print, covered in blood, and a pocket full of gerbils.
As they drove through the parking lot, they spotted the suspect and called 911.
So we knew he was nearby, but we didn't expect him to be like less than 30 feet away.
I mean, this is just such a bizarre story to cover. I can only imagine what it was like to witness this madness. The only shame here is...
No, Cryptic, he was not on weed. He was probably like on crack or maybe even meth. I'm not sure what the prevalence is there in Ohio. It's definitely not weed. If he was weed, he would not have been breaking into anything. I don't know about bath salts. like definitely not something with weed because when you're on weed, you're calm. You don't have the mental energy to break in somewhere. He was maybe maybe PCP, maybe meth, um, something like that. It definitely was not weed though.
That this didn't happen in Florida because it would have been really cool to see this man in GTA 6. I mean, hey, at least the guy that we covered a little over a week ago, the quadriplegic man, El Valiente, he was in Florida, so maybe they'll put him in GTA 6 somehow. One can only hope, though.
Matthew Pancake was sleeping outside another store with hamsters in his pants.
It's very odd. Obviously, we don't know what this individual is going through. I don't know if this is a narcotics-induced thing or something going on, but this is very bizarre behavior.
Oh, it's a narcotics-induced thing.
Most of the animals have been brought back, including a bird found outside a neighboring business. The pet store's owner says a veterinarian was called to make sure they've all got a clean bill of health as the cleanup continued.
I love how just everyone is in disbelief.
And by the way, quick PSA, don't buy dogs and cats from a pet store. Adopt. Do not buy dogs and cats from a pet store because they, typically speaking, they get them from like puppy farms or stuff. Adopt from your local shelter, from your local SPCA, ASPCA. Adopt them. Because those are animals that when you adopt them, they will love you forever. Yeah, it's where I got my cat from. I got my cat from shelter. It's like every pet that I've had, I've gotten from a shelter. I've adopted every single one of my pets. And they will love you till the day they die.
Believe that this happened. At least the good news here is from what we can see, the animals were completely fine. But either way, thank you, Matthew Pancake. Very cool. Definitely a Hall of Famer when it comes to being an Ohio man. Speaking of which, do we have any other recent Ohio man Hall of Famers here? Okay. We have Ohio man illegally dumped 3,000 tires. Why?
Damn!
He had a whole tire dumping operation. Ohio with their oddball crimes. And speaking of which,
actually, that doesn't sound so crazy. I can imagine that, like, all this guy probably was like charging people, like, "Hey, I'll take your old tires away for a small fee." Because my guess is you have to dunk tires in a very specific way. I know some places, like, you can't just put them out at the trash. Ace, he probably collected them. He probably charged people a small fee to, because people have old tires that they want to get, that they want to get rid of. That's not uncommon, but you can't just put them out the trash. Most places either have like one day out of the year where you can actually put tires out to be collected, but you cannot simply just put them out into the trash because they're rubber. They need to be disposed of in a very specific way. So this guy probably like went on Facebook Marketplace and said, "Hey, I'll take your tires for, I'll pick up your tires for $20 and take them away from you," and then just collected 3,000 and went to go dump them. But burning tires is illegal in most places. So that's my guess. That would be my guess, is that he probably did some kind of tire collecting business and then just dumped all 3,000 instead of getting rid of them the proper way.
which Ohio man and business owner sentenced after dumping 7,000 gallons of ammonia into a river and killing over 43,000
Holy
fish.
shit! 7,000 gallons of ammonia. Jesus! That not only killed the fish, I wonder if that river is that town's water supply. I don't know if it was Cleveland, Alex. It just says Ohio. So it says into a river, not anything specific, so it's probably a local river. But holy shit. That's fucking dangerous. Cause if it's a river, A, it's got fish, and B, kids play in rivers. Oh my god. Well, right, yeah, that's a whole different question, isn't it? So,
My brother in Christ, why? I guess tire guy and ammonia guy, I'm assuming convenience. That's the only reason they would do that, right? Ohio man plans to take a 2-person sub to the wreck of Titanic to prove industry is safe after the submersible implosion.
okay, you know what? Let him. Let him. Let this guy do this. This is Darwinism in action. Fucking let them do this. This is just flat out Darwinism. If this man wants to take a 2-person sub to the wreck of the Titanic to prove it's safe, go for it. Yep. Let Darwinism do its thing. Just fucking go for it, man. Aye.
Oh, well, that already played out terribly. Good luck to them. But hey, at least now you guys have been updated to everything revolving the Ohio men in recent times. But hey, I mean, at least none of them were TikTok dentists, because some of these TikTok dentists are now being thrown in prison for their incredibly shady practices. And you can check out that full story here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Well, that was interesting. Those last ones, yeah, those last ones were interesting.